Hi, I'm Mike Beliveau, and for the first time in 8 months, I'm coming to you from Duelist Den itself. Now, I get a lot of questions from you guys about what's happening with our land dispute here. And up until now, I really haven't had much to tell you. I mean, we've been waiting since May, I guess, for a judge to be assigned to the case. But finally things are happening. I'm going to let you know what's going on, and it's good news. So let's go grab a seat and I'll tell you about the latest update here at Duelist Den. Well, okay, we're back here at Duelist Den, as I said. Gorgeous fall day. I probably could not have picked a better day to make my return to the land here. I know a lot of you are very interested in what's going on. I'm going to give a little recap for people who may be new to the channel and don't realize what's happening. But back last February, well, I should say 8 years ago, I bought this property in North Hopewell Township, Pennsylvania, called Duelist Den by me. It's the south end of Blymire's Hollow, so I own the hollow from ridge to ridge. So I've got a 100-foot very steep ridge right there that I use as a backstop. Got a little level area here, makes for a great shooting area, and the rest of the property is all wooded with very mature trees. So I've been filming here and shooting here for about 8 years now. And with no problem. I've never been contacted by a neighbor with a complaint or anything. In fact, the neighbors that I have met are all shooters and hunters just like me. So they've been fine with it. So I was quite surprised back in February to get a letter from the zoning officer, acting zoning officer, telling me that I'm in violation of township ordinances because I am operating a shooting range. And he cited the ordinances and all of the awful stuff I'd have to do. I need to have 7-foot berms on all 3 sides of every shooting lane. I need to have 150 yards separation from the road. I need to have signage, ADA compliance, all sorts of things, right? So it's pretty obvious that the ordinances for shooting ranges are designed for commercial ranges or gun clubs, that have a number of people coming down using the range. And I'm just me. I shoot here alone. Occasionally my son will shoot with me, but very occasionally. So just me, and PA Title 34 is the law that governs shooting on your own property, which clearly says that a property owner can target shoot on their own property. So I thought, well, this has got to be a mistake. So I called up the zoning officer. And as it turned out, it was no mistake. I mean, they were serious as a heart attack. And I said, well, how can that be when all of my neighbors target shoot on their property? Now, mind you, I can hunt, so shooting is not regulated here, okay, in the township. I can hunt on the property anytime I want. I can carry a gun here, but the act of putting up a single target and shooting at it, according to the zoning officer, makes this a target range. And their reasoning for that is that my neighbors can all do it because they have houses on their property. And therefore, the primary purpose of the property is as a domicile, and shooting is an ancillary purpose, and that's okay. But because I don't have a house on this property, which I cannot do, it's in a conservation zone, because I don't have a house here, then the primary purpose must be as a shooting range. Which makes no sense, by the way. I mean, they have a similar ordinance about campgrounds. As I pointed out, if I came here and set up a tent and slept overnight, does that mean that all of the requirements of running a commercial campground now apply to me? Because my primary purpose is operating a campground? So on the face of it, their arguments are pretty weak, right? But, you know, I appealed it to the zoning board, and I had a 3-2 decision against me. And I discovered at that zoning board hearing that the people who are complaining are not actually my immediate neighbors, except you might say one guy who has a postage stamp sized lot sandwiched between my two major neighbors who have like 35 and 50 acres each. And he's almost 1,000 feet away from me on the other side of a 100-foot ridge. But for some reason, and he's a shooter himself, but he's got a bone with me, and some other people have a bone with me, and those other people are politically connected in the township. They're on the planning commission, they're buddies with the board of supervisors, and this is what happens in small towns, right? They can get together and figure out a way, like this primary versus ancillary use business, to stick it to somebody that they don't like, and they always get away with it because fighting them is just too hard and too expensive for most normal human beings. But they were so arrogant about this that I just couldn't let it lie. I mean, if I'd been smart, I would have done what I'm sure they expected me to do, which is sell the property and go somewhere else. That would have been the smart thing. I'm not kidding. But they got my fighting spirit up. You know, they shouldn't be able to get away with railroading people like they're railroading me. So I decided to fight them. I had no idea what it would cost, but I was pretty sure it would break me. But luckily, you all came to my rescue. A friend of mine, Ken Hill, set up a GoFundMe page. And you guys put so much money in it in just a couple of days, really, that I had to turn it off because I didn't want to have too much money. So I took that money and I hired what's probably the best municipal law firm in the state. At least I was told it is. And so far, they've been earning their bucks. And I've got a 3-person legal team. And I'm fighting this as if I was a major property developer, you know, going after a supermarket lot. So it's been amazingly expensive, I'll just tell you that. But I look at it this way. I would rather spend $80,000 and win than get, you know, less talented attorneys and spend $50,000 and lose, right? It's going to cost you a fortune either way. You might as well win. So we've been ticking along. We filed the court case, as I said, back in the spring, and the wheels of justice have just turned very, very slowly. And that's that has been nickel and diming me to death. And by nickel and dime, I mean, like, you know, months where not much is going on, it might cost me $3,000. In a month where a lot's going on, it might cost me $20,000. So that's the way it's been going. But thanks to you guys, I've had the money to do that. Now, I've got to be honest, I may have to reopen the GoFundMe page because this has been more expensive than I thought it would be and more expensive than my lawyers thought it would be. You know, and part of that is because of the way it's been drawn out. So you want to know what's going on? I'll just tell you. There's some stuff I couldn't talk about before that we were a little bit hopeful on. So we're waiting for a judge to be assigned, and so nothing's going on. But my lawyers were contacted by the attorney for the township, the solicitor, who said he thought that the township might be willing to settle this out of court. And that they would like us to propose a settlement to him. So, okay. So we put together a settlement that, proposal that basically I agreed to limit my shooting hours to shooting hours I shoot anyway. And I agreed to build a backstop berm here, which, by the way, is just a fig leaf because I've got a 100-foot cliff behind me. But I thought, okay, we had some indications that was what they're really interested in. Let's not necessary, but if that got us done months early without going to court, then it was actually worth it, right? So we sent that in to them, and they've never responded to it, which is highly annoying. I mean, they're the ones who asked for it, and they've never even rejected it. Never said yes, never said no, never even acknowledged its existence. So at that point, I had asked my lawyers if it was possible to get an injunction on the zoning board so that I could come back and shoot while we're waiting for all this to be settled. And they said, yeah, we can do that. It's called a writ of supersedris, by the way, which I did not know. And because it's just taking so long, I mean, we really thought we would have all this wrapped up by August. But here we are. It's almost November, and we're not wrapped up yet, right? So they drafted their motion, filed it, and last Thursday they were in court arguing the motion. And Friday the judge posted his decision, and he found in our favor, which is why this is now Monday, and here I am. So that is great news, right? So that writ of supersedris, basically a stay on the zoning board, it does a few really good things for us. One, it lets me come back here and shoot while we wrap all this stuff up until it's finally adjudicated. I'm back here. I mean, I've lost 8 months, and now there's a lot of work to do here on the land because I've only come back a couple of times in the summer to do any maintenance because it's been hard. I've been doing most of my videos at the West Shore Sportsmen's Association. I just haven't had the time to run back here to cut weeds and mow grass and do all the stuff that's got to be done. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done just on the grounds here. And it's going to take me a little while to do it because I'm 69 years old and I'm getting kind of creaky. But still, I'm back. The second thing it did is it let us basically test run some of our arguments, which they seem to run very well. So that's good news. The third thing is, it may finally have jump-started the process of getting us into court for our final official hearing. Because we filed the motion, so they had us on a judge to the motion. There's a good chance that that same judge will end up having our whole case now, and that we would be very happy if that happened, by the way. The township has had to file the certified record of the zoning board's actions, which is the first step in getting into the final hearing. My team is now writing up our response to that, which they couldn't do until they saw it, obviously. So they've got 10 days to do that, and they'll file that. And we are hopeful that within a month or two, a couple of months probably, if everything goes well, we'll be on the docket. Okay, just, full disclosure here. The only person who's really hopeful is me, that will be on the docket in a couple of months. My lawyers are not willing to guess at a time frame, and I guess I can't blame them because they certainly thought everything was going to happen sooner than now. So I'm hoping in a couple of months, or at least by the end of the year. But I got to be honest, the lawyers say, who knows? They're not going to commit. So I don't want to make it sound like we'll have everything wrapped up. I'm just thinking it's got to wrap up sometime. And it looks like we might have gotten the process started. So now back to the show. And, so there's a shot that this will be settled and it'll only have taken a year of my life to get there. Which I'm here to tell you, a year of your life when you're 25, not so bad. A year of your life when you're 68, that's annoying. I'm going to be 69 in a few weeks now. So I don't have as many years here to enjoy this property as I would like to have, and to have these guys take a year of it away from me is very, very annoying. But we're back here. As I said, hopefully within a couple of months we'll be in court. And, you know, unfortunately, we may have to go to the appellate court after that. I'm kind of hoping not, because I think, I hate to put words in their mouth, but I think the lawyer for the township, you know, their solicitor and the zoning board solicitor, I think they've been trying to get these guys to drop this case because they know it's a loser. Unfortunately, apparently there are people who really want me out of here so badly that they're willing to just keep pushing it and spending the taxpayers' money. So if we win at the Court of Common Pleas, I don't know if the township will appeal it or not. If we lose at the Court of Common Pleas, then I intend to appeal it to Commonwealth Court. So we'll see how that goes. But that's the update. Now, today I came out here, I hauled a lot of my steel out of storage and have set some of it back up. So since we're here, I think we ought to make a little noise. What do you think? Well, Evil Roy is happy to be back home, but he can't stay away from his evil nature. So he's been terrorizing the fine people of Blymire's Hollow since he got back here in the holler. So I think we're going to have to take our trusty Colt Navy and put him back in his place. Well, I think that taught Evil Roy a lesson. Well, you know, the West Shore Sportsmen's Association, which is a gun club where I've been doing most of my shooting this summer, is really a phenomenal club, and they'll let you do a lot of things that a lot of other clubs don't let you do. So I get to bring my personal steel and shoot it, and just a whole variety of things that you can't do anywhere else. But one thing they don't let you do is shoot plastic water bottles, and I really miss that. So while we're back here at the den, I've got a milk bottle set up about 15 yards away, and let's see if I can hit it with the Colt Navy. Got it in two. Well, a trip to Duelist Den wouldn't be complete without stopping by Swing City, where Swingin' Sam and the Circle Gang are all settled in. So let me see if I can play a tune on them. Okay, I think that's everybody. Well guys, thanks for joining me on my return to Duelist Den. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed being here. Got a lot of work to do to get the place straightened out, but hey, at least I'm back. And even though the fight is not over, finally I feel like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I couldn't have done that without all the support you guys have given me. So I just want you to know how much I appreciate that. And I hope to keep making videos that you enjoy for quite a while to come. Right here at the Den. Now, before I go, the gun I was shooting today is an Uberti 1851 Navy that I made a new front sight for. Which is kind of allowing me to actually hit what I'm looking at. Now, the video on this is already up on Rumble. So if you go down in the description box below the video, or on the side of the video, depending on what kind of device you're looking at, and follow the link to Rumble, this will be out there. It'll probably be the second video on the list. Or if you want to wait for the YouTube version, that'll be out next week. It would have been out this week, but I bumped it because I wanted to get the news out to you guys for this. And the YouTube version is a little bit different because there's stuff that YouTube doesn't let us tell you that I can tell you on Rumble. So if you want to see the full video, just go out to Rumble. So anyway, next week it'll be me sighting this in. So you're almost getting the cart before the horse by seeing it today. And anyway, I'll see you then. Until then, bye.